Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NACE 2007 Panel Talk, sponsored by Akzo Nobel. Now please welcome your NACE Chairman, Darrell Amberson.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We've got quite a nice surprise for you, as you can probably see by the stage set. This morning's sponsor, Akzo Nobel, promises to entertain and inform you on applying lean techniques in your working environment. To set the scene for this morning's panel talk, please welcome the Director of Marketing for Akzo Nobel Coatings Americas, Mr. Tim Loden.
Thanks, Darrell. Good morning. I'm Tim Loden, Director of Marketing for Akzo Nobel North America. And on behalf of Akzo Nobel, I'm pleased to welcome you to this morning's general session. Our topic is demystifying lean. Now, how many times have you heard somebody say, I only go to these meetings for the conversations that happen afterward over a beer. I get the best ideas from just sitting around talking to other people like me. It's also true that it's often easier to find a good idea by looking somewhere else, say a bar, and then applying that idea to your own reality. Now, a bar and a body shop, what do they have in common? Let your mind roll with that for a few minutes. Customers, the ebb and flow of work, hassles, inventories, employees, and behind it all, processes and procedures. When it comes to benefiting from lean thinking, they have more in common than we might think. So sit back and relax while we eavesdrop on what happens when 3 collision repairs go looking for a cold beer. Your guide today will be Gary Steele, a business process improvement expert at Marati LLC. Gary Steele.
Thanks very much, Tim. Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to what I trust will be an experience you'll find enjoyable, informative, and thought-provoking. My name's Gary Still, and as you may already have gathered, I'm not from around these parts. I'm from a beautiful little country across the pond called England. I'm going to be your navigator today through the process of demystifying lean. So what is lean, and why does it require demystifying? For many, it's become reduced to a series of buzzwords, phrases and tools that have generally been devalued by the inappropriate use. It has, though, taken the collision industry by storm. You cannot open an industry publication or visit an industry-related conference, such as ours here today, without some sort of reference to lean and a host of related concepts, theories, processes, principles, systems and tools. Despite this bombardment of information, or perhaps because of it, there still remains this aura of mystique around the entire topic. Today, we will attempt to define lean in a simple, easily understood manner. The starting and most important principle of lean is the customer first. You must always ensure that your business system is designed specifically with the customer in mind. Non-lean organisations do just the opposite. Their systems are designed to specifically answer their own needs. Our second is the removal of wasted activity. Lean organisations continually analyse all aspects of their business to minimise waste in 8 key areas of transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and probably most importantly, of the waste of untapped human potential. But removing waste from your process is not enough on its own. A new lean practitioner will solve problems to remove waste, whilst the experienced practitioner will look to solve the root causes, dissolve waste, and then continually seek to avoid waste in new situations. These principles allow us to create processes that are as efficient as possible, remember though, for the end user. Once more, that's not enough. An efficient process itself is waste if it's not aligned to the customer demand. And finally, lean is intent on driving continuous improvement. Because the most effectively and reliably we can deliver exactly what the customer wants, when they want it, to the place they want it, at a fair price, you know what? The sooner that customer expects us to deliver more and more. It's just as important here, though, to stress what lean is not. It's not something you do, that can be done, because it is something you do. It's a way of life, a mindset, a state of being. To sustain and truly deliver long-term value, it has to become an integral part of your culture. If you hear anyone say they've leaned their business, trust me, they just don't get it. It can never be described in the past tense. It's about today and tomorrow. All lean practitioners know you'll never reach the end. You're always looking for a better way. There's always more of an opportunity to improve. And this is why we often refer to it as a journey. Now, whilst there are common foundation concepts in all lean organisations, some of which we'll discuss with you today, 5S and continuous flow amongst them, the principles, concepts and tools are merely a theoretical starting point for the thinking. These are lifeless without the people inside your own organisation. It's the careful deployment, translation, testing and proving of these concepts by an engaged and empowered workforce that turns this into lean doing and embeds cultural change in the organisation. Businesses may be similar, especially for us, inside one industry, but they are never identical. And this is why there is no off-the-shelf answer. The power comes in translating these theoretical ideas into a working system specifically for your own business and your own group of customers. Today, we're going to explore just 4 key concepts that most lean organisations use in their pursuit of maximising this customer satisfaction by minimising the waste. We'll define these concepts from commonly understood viewpoint, but most importantly, we will discuss how they can be customised and applied in our own industry. Now, I hear that what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, but I hope that's not the case this time. We'd like each and every one of you to leave here today with an understanding of what lean truly means. It's not our intention to make you experts, but it is our intention to ignite an interest in you that empowers you to take that first step towards running your shops, your businesses, your organisations better. The first step on a lifelong lean journey. Hey, look, Ray's bar's open. I can see 3 of my friends who own shops. All have taken their businesses on a lean journey. Let's eavesdrop, see what we can learn from them.
What's a guy got to do to get a drink around here? You know, we've been walking and talking all day and my throat's drier than my good Scottish friend's humour. It feels like the Nevada desert.
Okay, wait, whoa. I'm busy, guys. Give me a minute. You know what? Can't do 2 things at once. I'm a guy. Jeez. Or at least that's what I tell my wife. Hey, I see from your name tag you guys are here for the NACE conventions. You repair cars?
Yeah, why? You got one that needs repairing?
Oh, no. I used to run a body shop in Scotland. You know, the old country. But I gave it up to pursue a more challenging career. Yeah. Running a bar, real tough. Real tough. Yeah, Scotland. It takes me back. Glens, hills, valleys. Deep-fried Snickers and rain. Maybe it wasn't so good after all, I'm not so sure. You know what? You guys are always in a hurry in this country. Always. Not us. Never in a hurry.
You know what, guys? I think we have a serious issue here. This character's drinking more than he's selling. I thought he just said that running a bar is more trouble than running a body shop.
You must be kidding. Running a body shop? Easy. Honestly. Do it in my sleep. In fact, did it in my sleep for quite a while. That's why I left. Now, I can almost the solvents, I can smell them now. Maybe it's because I've not cleaned up for a while. But, hey, side points. I can hear the grinders. I can hear the body hammers. I can see the flash of the welders. It really takes me back, really does. You know what? If it really wasn't for one thing, those whiny, bloody customers drove me nuts.
Oh, come on, Ray. This is still a pretty good industry. Things could have been that bad.
Yeah, right. Bad? Fridays, nightmare. Phone going, customer wants to know when he's getting his car back. You'll get it back when it's finished. I didn't damage the damn thing. You know what? You ran it into the tree, not me. Why should I have to work to your schedule? It's not going to happen. I'm telling you guys, it's not going to happen. The other thing that drove me nuts, yeah, getting the cars out for the weekend and having to get them back in on the Monday. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, but there's no way that I was ever going to listen to what our customers said, because what do they know about repairing cars? Nothing. It's my job. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Share values just went down.
What about our drinks?
I'll get you the drinks. What do you want? Hold on, let me take this call first.
All right, how about our drinks?
Yeah, how about 3 Heinekens, please? Maybe some peanuts?
No, oh, no, babe, not a problem. Yeah, just some customers.
It
No,
sounds
no.
like his wife.
Yeah, life will be good.
Yeah, I'm sure
What?
she's.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure she's a pretty good customer for him. But what about us?
Yeah.
I was about ready to complain about the service, but there isn't any.
Yeah, I agree. We have choices, guys. Just like our customers have choices. Let's go somewhere else where we'll be appreciated as customers.
Come on, guys. It took me 45 minutes and a small pony ride to get to the show from my room today. I'm tired. Let's give the guy a second chance.
Well, it appears that Ray's not the most customer-centric of bar managers. And my 3 friends have made some great points. They have focused their businesses on meeting the demands of their customers. That's not only the first principle of lean, it's also common sense. But I think Ray shows us sometimes uncommonly practiced. Maybe when you're back at your workplace, you'd like to use one of the techniques which works for me. Imagine that you have an insurer sat on one shoulder and a car owner on the other. As you go through your daily activities and tasks, think about them looking right down on top of what you're doing. Think about what they think about the tasks and activities we take part in each day, understanding that they pay for everything we do. How much of that do you think they would say is generating real value for them? We established earlier that maximisation of customer satisfaction and reduction of waste are the 2 primary drivers of lean. Sounds like these guys are focused on satisfying their customers' needs. But how do they do it, and how do they minimise waste? You may have heard of a lean concept called 5S. It's an important building block of lean, indeed a core foundation stone. It's the most common starting point for many companies that want to embark on the lean journey. If an organisation cannot implement and maintain a simple system like 5S, it's unlikely that it can successfully implement any other lean disciplines. 5S is a system of steps and procedures that can be used by individuals and teams to arrange work areas in the best manner to optimise performance, comfort, safety and cleanliness. Perfected by the Japanese, the 5S translates into sort, getting rid of what you need from what you don't need; set in order, arranging items in the workplace by frequency of usage; sweep or shine, keeping the workplace clean and organised. Our 4th, as standardised, is to build in visual controls so everyone knows what's happening in the process and we create repeatable standard processes. And 5, sustain, maintaining the first 4 principles. If you like, creating an environment of control. This really is about winning the hearts and the minds of the whole organisation, supported by senior managers supporting the process even or especially when it's difficult. It's often misunderstood as simply a housekeeping exercise, but don't be put off by the words. As an example, the 3rd element of shine is really designed to use cleaning and replacing items back in their assigned home as a method for recognising impending issues, such as missing tools, oil leaks or safety hazards. Some of the benefits of 5S include reduction of cycle times, improved working conditions. These lead to improved employee morale, improved inventory management, and increased quality, and that's just a few. Of course, all of these also lead to improved customer satisfaction. Let's go back to Michael, Ken and John, see what they've done to implement 5S in their facilities.
Okay, Heineken's. It's Heineken here somewhere. I'll find it. Nah. Hey, this'll do. It's in a green bottle. These guys are American. They'll never know the difference. Okay, here we go. Here you go, guys. I didn't have any of that sissy beer, but...
Hey, you know, Ray, you can stand a little cleaning up around here. You know, you may want to start cleaning up after the last customer leaves so the next customers come into something clean. I mean, you can't even set the beers down. There's no place to put them.
This place is a mess.
Ray, I got to tell you, our mixing rooms are cleaner than this bar. In fact, my dumpster's cleaner than this bar.
Clean. Oh, and by the way, 2 X's, dos X, yeah? 6 X's beats 5S every day in life. Don't go for any of that fancy stuff. I think 5S, yeah? I had 3 or 4 S's before. Doctor fixed them though. Life was good.
Ray, 5S is not a beer. It's a system for maintaining cleanliness and organization in the workplace.
And since nobody's silly enough to work for you, I got to tell you, it improves morale for employees, efficiency, and the way your customers think about your business. Not that you have any either.
Yeah, Ray, it's about making the workplace make sense. You know, having a place for everything and everything in its place. You know, get rid of the clutter. When in doubt, throw it out. You know, no collecting stuff. You know, use it or lose it. You know, get rid of, in our shop, get rid of those old MacGyver boxes where we had all the nuts and bolts and clips and all the stuff that we knew we were going to need sometime at the end of the job or someday, and we'd spend hours going through them trying to find them. You know, it's about really organizing the tools and the materials and the equipment right there at the point of use, where it needs to be. You know, decreasing the amount of time looking for it and distance traveled. And then as far as the housekeeping, you know, make it part of the culture. Clean the clean. Clean it after every movement. Clean the tools, wipe them down after every use. Clean the workspace after every time the product moves.
Yeah, you know, guys, we were doing 5S in my shop before we even knew what they called it 5S. You know, we've created areas for our tools. We've got marked places on the floors. We have an address on the wall where it goes. We have a return address on the tool. When it comes to materials and stuff on the walls, we actually created little baskets so you can't have multiple quantities of stuff in there. We labeled everything like that. You know, and then when we took 5S to the front office, we saw some huge gains. You know, the front office, we created a visual file rack system. Previous to that, there was paperwork and files all over the place, you know, just waiting to be closed. Now, all you have to do is look at the paper system and you can see exactly where everything is and exactly what needs to be done at any given time. Hey, John, you do something like that as well, don't you?
We do, Ken. You know, what we found, we just do a little bit differently by regulating the amount of cars we bring in. I mean, I got to tell you, what happened was that, you know, by the time we took off all the trim panels, bumpers, and all the other parts, we had no room for any cars, so all we did was drive them all over the shop every day. It just got to be ridiculous. And not only that, I mean, clutter and you know, waste is just phone calls too. I mean, you know, our employees are getting their brains beat in by the customers calling them. We can't tell them when it's going to be done. It's just a disaster. You know, but I got to tell you, you know, walking through this casino, look at how clean the casino is. You know, the people that clean are invisible. I mean, you see them, but you don't see them because they're always cleaning. You know, it's like what we just say at our store is a little all the time beats a lot rarely. Much easier.
Yeah. You know, seriously, Ray, you could get a whole lot more out of this bar if you just adopt some of these principles. I mean, think how many more customers you could take care of, how much faster you could take care of them if you could just find stuff around here. And plus, the whole establishment will be much more respected by its customers because they'll be more comfortable, more confident. I mean, this place looks like you need a tetanus shot before you walk in.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I hear what you're saying, guys, but it sounds too good to be true. Yeah? So it's probably going to be real difficult. And I will never get my employees to buy into it. Geez, can't even get them to tell me when we've run out of that stupid green beer that you wanted. Yeah? So that's why you've got that stuff. It's driving me nuts. How am I supposed to do it? They think a beer fairy comes along, guys. They think a beer fairy comes along. Yeah? Yeah, I have a pink phone and I wear a pink shirt. But I ain't a fairy.
I wonder. Yeah, you know, guys, Ray just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that it starts with him. His employees will never buy in if he doesn't buy into it.
I work better in an organized environment. One of the reasons why I came back here, look at the building. It's painted. Every light's on. Every light, if there's a light bulb, it's on. Bathrooms are clean. You know, the overall environment of the building's clean. The people are trustworthy, honest. You know, and so those things I had to weigh in. And with John's little meticulous, park the cars straight, keep the boxes stacked nice and neat. All that comes into play, and then just because you work in a body shop don't mean it has to be a filthy environment.
Just as I thought, their commitment to the 5S principle boils over into their everyday life. I really hope Ray's starting to get it. Perhaps knowing that his employees will be happier will motivate him to apply 5S in his bar. If Ray does not clean up his act, there's no way he's going to be able to understand and implement our next lean concept of continuous flow. This is when a product or service travels through its various stages, such as design, order taking, operations, logistics, payments, etc., without any backflows, scrap or rework, without the need for excess inventory or delays of any kind. We can further elaborate this phrase continuous, as this also needs to be fast and flexible. Fast because speed is at the heart of lean. Traditional batch-driven organisations think of economies of scale. Lean organisations think in economies of time. The faster you drive a process, the more you shall recognise the need for waste reduction, improved layout, closer working relationships, better quality, and to customer-focused thinking. Flexible, because although we're repairing cars, that's about as close as we get to mirroring the vehicle manufacturer's process. You know, we don't have that luxury of a high-volume, low-variance production line. In lean terms, actually, we can credibly suggest that no two accidents are the same, then we're already working in the ideal batch size of 1. We have low volumes and high variance, and each individual customer expects to be treated with the same care, attention and service levels as the next. And then back to flow. Simple mindset with which to approach flow is in the analogy of a fresh running river. Water can only stagnate if it's dammed or if its flow is blocked to such an extent that it becomes still. This is exactly how waste is generated in our processes. When we try to push work into the shop that does not have balanced capacity, we're creating waste, not flow. A desire to make our processes flow drives us towards optimising the whole supply chain, not just within our body shop, but right the way through to all the players in that chain, and not into creating localised efficiencies where a stripper can create a huge amount of work that then just creates a bottleneck further down the pipeline. Flow just means keep it moving. We're only adding value to the customer, and guess what, guys? Making money ourselves when the value-added steps are happening. The key benefits of flow are in delivering reduced cycle time, lower costs, and less wasted activity. This increases the quality, all through which delivers increased customer satisfaction. It's counterintuitive, but to actually achieve these results, and flow really can make a bottom line improvement to your business, sometimes you need to slow down some processes to ensure the whole value stream moves at the required pace.
Okay, I'm listening to you now. Okay, I've got this continuous flow thing down to a T. There you go. 3 for you. 3 for you. And you know what? Even 3 for you. There you go.
Thanks.
What's the problem? You're like 3 goats looking at lightning. Continuous flow.
You gave us 3 beers each, Ray. You know, that's like when we used to give our techs 3 cars at a time, just because we didn't understand our own organization and having things organized in our facilities. You know, more is not always the answer to continuous flow. Sometimes less actually creates more in the end of it. John, you explain this to this guy.
Hey, Ray, Mr. X Body Shop Guru. Let me just give you a little example. You know, what drove us crazy was having cars sitting in front of our paint booth while the gas meter's spinning like a frisbee. driving up my cost, and then they're sitting there trying to make paint while the booth's running, not getting any cars continually flowing through the booth, which is the whole idea. So what we did, we just moved our paint mixing operations to the front of the process, and by solving one big problem, it fixed a lot of small ones. We touched the car up ahead of time. We have to blend less. I've got less of those trim panels. I got to tell you, it makes a big difference on our profitability too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just one component of it, because it's really about creating that definition of what does the vehicle need to look like for continuous flow, or to be worked on continuously until you put it back in the customer's hands. And then separating that from the rest of the process and taking those next steps and setting up and lining them up logically and sequentially so the whole thing becomes more predictable and dependable.
Okay. Firstly, the vehicle needs to look like a vehicle. 4 wheels. It'll be fine. I'm beginning to see where you come from. So let me explain and show you what I've done. Got a 5S and continuous flow at the same time.
No, Ray. No, you don't take the work to the tool. You bring the tool to the work. Your trash can is your tool. The trash is the work. Pick it up one at a time. Put it in the trash until you're done. That's continuous flow.
The most important step in continuous flow is having a 100% repair plan up front, 100% parts order. Once you get that product ready, now you need to have a flow system. You need to have a process designed to allow the product to be able to flow through it. In our facilities, guys, we created our whole process, and we have it up on what we call the wall. It's actually it's 6 feet high and 20 feet long, and our entire end-to-end process is there. Creating that process, was always, we took into account a lot about flexibility in that. You really need to look at your own environment in your marketplace. For example, I come from kind of central Canada, and it takes us 2 to 3 days to get parts either out of the East Coast or the West Coast. I think you guys probably get parts in a few hours to a day in most cases. So we had to design our process a little bit different. We also have a huge amount of work up in my area. We have months worth of work. And so we're able to actually schedule, safe drivables and tow-ins and even hail damage that we have. And we can organize our work so that we can really balance it. That's really nice. But I think that you guys really have to take whatever the customer's throwing at you on any given day, and you have to create a different process based on that.
And I couldn't agree more, but part of the empowerment, the process of getting it set up is employee empowerment. My employees would laugh at me every time they see me washing my hands because they would ask me if I fell down, because that's the only way I was going to get dirty. And I was trying to tell them on how to fix cars. They're like, how can you tell me how to make the process better if you don't know what we go through every single day? So listening to them, giving them a forum, letting them state their opinions, and really not criticizing, but listening and talking about it makes a huge difference. I got to tell you, we recently merged with another very large collision repair facility, and I walked in there to start doing some meetings on culture. And I had my flip charts and my computer and all my fancy stuff, and I said, where did I set up for the meetings? $6 million a year operation. They said, we don't have meetings. Can you imagine that? That's unbelievable. So there was just no communication, so nobody knew what was going on. And you know what, I got to tell you, in the instance with us, it's not them, it's us. It's absolutely was our fault.
Yeah, I hear you guys. You know what, I don't have any meetings in my business either. Only because I can't get any staff. But continuous flow, I'm struggling a little bit with that, because I would have thought that's something that you go to the doctor every now and again with.
It's a lot better. Parts are all in the car. Before I used to have to go up there and search for moldings and stuff like that. They were in the car when I was ready to paint the car, or they bring down moldings after the car was painted. So now it's everything's got a procedure. Everybody's job has a procedure. If you do that procedure, it works out well. Yeah, well, it's more structured, but it's easier just because I don't have to go searching for moldings. I don't have to mix paint. Joe makes all the paint. I'm not in there, having to mix paint. Pretty much when it comes down here, everything you need to paint the car is there, so you get more done.
It appears that our bartender is starting to get it, if slowly. Continuous flow is a process where the work flows from the beginning to end without stopping. Our next lean concept, in-process quality, is the practice of having quality checkpoints built in throughout all the processes, instead of waiting to the end of a process when it's often too late. It also means having documented work standards for each step in the process. The classic House of Lean has two pillars built on a foundation of stability and control through 5S, standard operating procedures, visual controls, etc. These two pillars are those of continuous flow and quality. The two pillars are mutually supportive. For instance, improving quality improves throughput by less interruptions and rework. And applying continuous flow improves quality as it ensures faster detections of issues, driving less rework. In-process quality has three phases of containment, correction and prevention. Not all issues will follow these in a linear fashion, but all phases should be considered. Containment. This refers to ensuring that the problem does not reach the customer. Ideally, that it's not even passed on to the next stage in our process, thus protecting the customer from quality issues. Correction ensures that this specific occurrence of an issue is fixed and the job is swiftly forwarded on to the next stage. This protects the customer from undue delays in delivery. Finally, prevention. And prevention is the process of ensuring the problem does not reoccur. Of course, all of these bring improvements to your body shop in quality, delivery, and importantly, cost. Let's return to the bar and see how our friends can help Ray in applying some in-process quality.
Gee, they're bad. These guys are American, they'll never notice. Here's the peanuts, guys.
No rush.
Ready for another round?
Ray, we haven't drank the 9 beers you gave us 10 minutes ago.
Hold on. Practice what you preach. Yeah? Continuous flow. Keep drinking. Jeez. I'm having a real problem with you guys. You know what? I thought running a body shop was bad. Running a bar with you three? Those whiny customers are really, really rubbed off on you guys.
Hey, I got to tell you, these peanuts are nasty. What do you get, the zoo rejects?
Oh man, they are incredibly stale. They taste like bad Bondo dust.
You're okay?
Come on, they're stale.
Okay. I'll give you them half price. 50% off. There you go. Done deal. What? You don't want to pay for them at all?
No.
Jeez. What am I supposed to do with all of these that's left? I'll wait for more Americans to come in. It'll be fine. So, how was everything, guys?
Okay, I guess. What? You know, 90% of unhappy customers don't complain. They just don't come back. I won't come back. That's all. You know, I mean, we got to give Ray a little bit of credit. At least he asked us if we were happy before we were paying the bill and walking out the door.
Come on, we really, you know, he's got to evaluate, you know, monitoring quality from the inside. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to have your customers do the QC when they're the ones paying the bill. How much sense does that make?
No, yeah, it's about really creating one way of doing things. You know, creating work standards the best way. You know, and then measuring those standards and inspecting the product against those standards at critical points during the process, and then actually having those standards visually that are out on the floor. You know, so that everybody can understand when the product does not meet those standards or not. So you always want to correct it before you advance it to the next step. So essentially you're inspecting it, correcting it, and then the most important part, collecting the data so that we can figure out over time really what's plaguing the process, what's limiting it, what's holding it back from producing more. The side benefit is the standard work is the learning curve is shortened, training's enhanced.
Yeah, our in-process quality, we really do that based on vehicle handoff. Where we have people taking the car apart and then that may move off to other technicians. And it makes it very difficult for one technician to be able to hand off poor quality to the next tech because they just won't accept that. It's like in a flat rate environment, you'll notice flat rate techs, they can kind of hide little things and they just kind of squeak things out, which really inhibits good quality. Some other stuff that we did on our process quality was each technician, as they do their part of the task, they have to highlight the repair order as it moves through the system. And so they kind of do a quality check and highlight it, and it's just saying, yes, you know what, I'm verifying that I've done this and I've done it properly, and then it can move on to the next person. It also, when we get to the end of the repair, it's a final check to make sure that every line item was performed, and we can kind of go back over that and make sure that our quality is. So that's kind of how we do that.
Yeah, we do something pretty similar, but what we did was all our employees are internal customers. So what we do is we just do the quality repair process as we go along. So the parts department doesn't take an incomplete estimate from the estimators, the body man from the parts, paint from the body. It just goes on down the line. So what that happens is if you do it, as you go through, it just prevents a whole bunch of whiplash when you get to the end of the process, when the car is probably already a little bit late or running close to being late. You just don't have to try and figure out where the process broke down. And what we need to do is we really need to think about making our QC process, visual, not emotional, because, I get complaints or did get complaints, from different people that if somebody was having a bad day, it didn't look good, but if they're having a great day, it was fine. So, we got to take that out because the end result, it's our customers that suffer and our CSI rating. It's not really the employees. And, there's just, when you really stabilize your system, there's just a lot of hidden waste that you uncover. Let's talk about parts returns. I mean, our parts returns were running 20%. That means that I was paying my parts manager 1 day a week for free to do nothing. I mean, that's crazy. So, we try to shoot for about 5 to 7% now, and it just makes a big difference on what we get for our money.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, how about another round? Ray? Hey, but hold the peanuts this time. Let them ripen up a little bit, all right?
Okay. Let's shoot. So, everything's okay apart from the 3 beers, the stale peanuts, the dirty bar. So we have 3 more. Okay? I'll solve the peanut thing though. Watch this, guys. You're going to love this. This is in-process quality. Big style. There you go. Fresh. Just enough for 3 and only $180. Okay, hey, you can have them on me.
It's a lot smoother flowing than conventional shop. You got a lot of less stress, less push. The line pretty much takes care of itself as long as you don't break any of the system. You got to follow the system and things usually run pretty smooth. I think it's a definite plus because you're double checking and rechecking everything that's been performed before in the process, so that before the car gets to the end of the line, if there's something wrong or something's got missed, you can catch it and it's not holding the job up at the very end.
In process quality, key component of lean. John said it best when he said, "Don't let the customer do our quality control for us." By creating quality checks throughout the process, any discrepancies can be corrected immediately before they've got the chance to grow into something larger. Once Ray adds more quality checkpoints to his system and considers containment, correction and prevention, he'll have a lot less customer complaints to deal with. Our fourth and final lean concept today is that of real-time administration. In the spirit of continuous flow, real-time administration is the practice of completing all necessary paperwork and other related administrative functions simultaneously to the completion of the work itself. The result is the work and the paperwork is completed together instead of waiting to complete paperwork after completion of the work. In a lean organisation, the production and administration processes are so connected that one cannot move forward without the other. Let's see how our friends in the bar keep their admin processes in sync with their production processes.
Hey guys, I'm really starting to get this lean process thing. I'm going to join you.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah, be our guest.
Thank you. Politeness costs nothing. Allegedly. So, what else you guys get up to?
You could probably say we all practice something called real-time administration.
Yeah, I have a real time with my administration, I'll tell you. Drives me mental. Paperwork, I took this job thinking it was 24/7 party. What happened? I spend 3 o'clock every morning filling all the paperwork out. Drives me nuts.
You know, Ray, if you practice real-time administration, you wouldn't be here half the night. The paperwork would already be done. Every action and transaction would be connected.
Hey, sign me up or I'll get more time at the bar.
Come on, you nitwit. You're supposed to real-time administration means less time at the bar, not more.
You know, Ray, I got an example for you I think that you can relate to. You know when you go into a restaurant and you go in, first thing they do is come take your order. But you ever notice how the first thing that they do is they go to the computer and they enter the order into the computer first? You know, then as you have your first drinks, they come back, maybe take your meal order. And again, the first thing they do is back to the computer. They input that into the computer. As they do that, that's probably sending the signal to the kitchen, telling the kitchen to prepare the food. A little while later, you maybe get another order of drinks. It's the same sort of thing. They always go back to that computer. Now, the reason they're going back to the computer isn't because the computer has some strange power over them. The thing is that that's the way the system was designed. And that's what's most important, is following the system. You know, and then as it goes along, when you're ready to leave, all they have to do is push one button, and there's your bill. Also, as that continues on, it's also controlling an inventory. As they order stuff, it's depleting your inventories. And then when it comes time to do your inventory, Ray, push one button, there's your list of everything you need. No more beer fairy, Ray.
Don't call me a fairy. That's not nice. Show some respect. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. Nub has that system. Yeah? It's pretty good. I have to be honest. But my system's really simple as well. Because I don't clean up. Yeah? All I do is count the amount of empties you've got. Job's done.
Yeah, but not with 5S, Ray. If you clean them up as you went along, you wouldn't have to worry about doing it all at one time and batching stuff.
Okay, yeah. Actually, you're right there. It's the first thing you've said that's right today, I think. Yeah. Okay, so, tell me. What am I supposed to do with this real-time administration stuff, guys?
Well, Ray, you know, in our industry, what that means is that the vehicle and the file move in concert. The file actually precedes the vehicle through the entire process. It's connected. It's dictating the action. Essentially, it's pre-closed all the time. You know, examples like ordering parts electronically. It's driving the action, and then the invoice is entered immediately.
Yeah, you know, we have a system that's not computerized, and what it does is it uses a couple of flow cards. It's administrative flow cards. And these cards work in conjunction with the carousel and a file rack system that I talked about earlier. You know, as that stuff flows through there, it keeps track of everything, and then you can see exactly where a car is at any given time in the process. That way we can close our jobs in real time.
You know what? RTA started off a little bit differently because what we were running into was a cash flow issue. You know, I was getting all these parts bills in, and it was running tight on money, you know, throughout the month. But then I started looking at my desks, and they were covered up with files that weren't closed. And I said, well, until you close the file and post the money and deposit it, I can't have any money to fund the company. So what we tried to do was just do as you two alluded to, you know, and if you go back to having a 100% estimate as best that you possibly can at the beginning, doing your QC and picking up any problems all the way through the end, when it gets down to the repair biller, you know, hopefully there won't be any supplements. If there is, it's minor. All the paperwork's there, all your photocopies, everything that we need to document the file. You close it, it's done, you get your money, everything's ready to go. I mean, can you imagine what our customers used to think of us when they come to get a $10,000 job picked up, and I'd walk out there with a single sheet of paper, and I'd say, here's your temporary receipt. When we get around to feeling that you're important enough to bill up your paperwork, we'll just mail you a bill. I mean, Ray, even you're not crazy enough to go into Nub's Pub and have him give you beers and just you give him your credit card, and he says, I'll just send you the bill later, and you look on your statement and decide how much I wanted to charge you. That's crazy.
Wow, this industry's changed a lot, I'll tell you. And I thought I was quite good at what I did. Obviously, you guys are teaching me something that I didn't know. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this new system, yeah? I'm going to write down here what I've just given you. So 9 premium quality beers. 1 times really bad peanuts. Plus good ones. And I'll stick it in there. And when you guys are ready to go, job's done. How's that for real-time administration, guys? Eh?
Ray?
Now you're getting it.
You're getting it.
Nice.
You would have seen 25 people Monday morning just dropping their cars off. No scheduling, no organization, no anything. And we're having a 4 to 6 week backlog just because. Now we schedule the cars based on what we can work on that day. When I first came to work here, I wrote all my own estimates, built all my own cars, talked to all my own customers, and I'd be here till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Now, I come in at 8, and I go home at 5:30.
It looks like Ray is finally seeing the light. It might only be a flicker at this point, but that's how roaring fires begin. What I heard these guys say is that they've all implemented processes to ensure the RO file is updated as repairs progress and ultimately is closed or ready to close at the time the repairs are complete. The benefits can include fewer supplements, more accurate invoices, reduced accounts, increased cash flow and increased customer satisfaction. It's a win-win-win situation. The shop, the car owner and the insurance company all win. Increased customer satisfaction by eliminating waste from our system. Now that's what Lean's all about. We've heard how these 3 shop owners have implemented 4 Lean principles in their facilities. 5S, continuous flow, in-process quality and real-time administration. I've got a feeling that if we bought these guys some more beers, maybe at another bar, we'd learn that they have implemented many more Lean concepts within their businesses. It's important to note, this is not the body shop of tomorrow. For these 3 gentlemen and other collision industry pioneers like them, this really is the body shop of today.
Thinking about his conversation with his patrons, Ray's mind drifts to his old body shop in Scotland. What would it have been like if, well, first Ray's thoughts drift to a cold pint and then to his body shop in Scotland. What would it have been like if he would have known about Lean? For hours, Ray thinks and drinks, 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 thinks and drinks.
You saw the whole of the moon.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'd like to take a couple of minutes just to thank some of the people that have made today possible for us. Couldn't have done this without some of the support of the show team, specifically Scott, Pamela, Kay and their team. You only seen half the team up here. There's some of the guys that have done all this fantastic videos. So a big thanks to the AXO Nobel guys, Alan Bailey, Rick Pfeiffer and Mike Sillay. So how about a round of applause for all the background guys. I'd like to officially recognise our bar customers. These guys aren't professional actors, although you probably wouldn't have been able to tell today. They did such a fine job, but I can't make my choice, so I'm going to give them all a Best Actor. First, Mr. Michael Giarizzo, CEO of DCR Systems. Next, Ken Friesen, President and CEO of Concourse Collision Centres. And finally, as our bar staff, we've got John Beckworth. John's President of Mile 1 Collision Works. There might have been someone else on the stage. Of course, how could I forget? Our bar owner was played by Mr. Doug Kirk, Senior Process Consultant for AXO Nobel Coatings. Once again, my name's Gary Still, Senior Partner with Maradi, a collision industry consultancy based in the UK. I want to leave you with one final thought. A journey of 10,000 miles must start with a single step. We don't expect you to know what it feels like or the destination, but taking that first step is the most difficult element of any lean journey. I had a birthday recently, and my wife bought me a button that read, "I've learnt so much from my mistakes, I'm thinking of making some more." There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, there's no lean examiner going to come along and check how good you are. So sure, celebrate the successes, and you will have many, but really embrace those times where you go off the beaten track, because this is when you'll really learn the important issues and the important lessons and find out about how to make your business better. So, do you want your journey to be one like a Michael Palin travel documentary, with you sitting in a comfortable chair, wondering what it would be like to experience what that guy's experienced, to go to those places? Or do you want to get out of that chair and take your first step? If it's the latter, then I can't wait to come back and see you speak at NACE next year, because I'll tell you what, it's bound to be a great story. So NACE, thank you for allowing us to spend a little bit of time with you. I won't say goodbye, because if you're on this journey, I'm sure our paths will cross again. We may even share a drink in Ray's bar. Thank you very much.